Hi, everybody. I hope that you're having a great day. Today, this is the second installment of Candid Candidacy with Cari4OEA. And as a reminder, I am running for Vice President of the Oklahoma Education Association. I hope whenever you watch this video, you're having a great day. This video specifically deals with communication and how important it is to our association, both internally and externally. Today's topic, we're going to focus first on internal communication. So the very first thing I did as president, because I had no idea what to do as president, how to be president, was asked the members. I actually made a very, very happy accident. I didn't know what to do. So instead, I went to the members and I asked them, what do you need of your leader? What would you like to see? How do you need Penn, the professional educators of Norman, to function? And because I asked, they told me. The key piece to that, though, is not that I asked what they wanted me to do as president of their association. It's that I listened to what they said and that I actually tried to implement some of those changes. So some of their suggestions indicated that maybe they like to see a newsletter. So I started a weekly newsletter in the Professional Educators of Norman called the Did You Know? And in this weekly newsletter that goes out every Monday at 8 a.m. like clockwork, it's very consistent, I include 3 critical pieces of information. The first piece is something that's currently located in the collective bargaining agreement, something we've negotiated on their behalf. When we first started, I was putting in things that dealt with issues that people were calling me about or contacting me about. And since then, we've kind of gotten into a system where we're updating new contract language, we're adding things in, but we're making sure that they know what their rights are and they know what their negotiated agreement says. People are much more up to date on what's going on, and they actually know some of the things that are in their agreement, which I can't say many teachers do. In addition, we also include a member benefit. So something I found on NEAMB.com's website or OEA's website, or even something that's going on locally as a perk here, I'll include that in the Did You Know, so that people will have an idea of other things, ways they can save money, those kinds of things. And then the third key critical piece is basically a save the date or calendar type function. So it lets the members of Penn know where I am and what my week looks like. So they know, is it a good time to call? Is it not a good time to call? What's Cari doing? So it provides some accountability from my office to the members, which I think is really important. And in addition, I can throw other things in there besides those 3 key critical pieces, like reminders to wear red for ed on Tuesdays, which is when we do it, or our membership form. It's consistently in there every single week, so people don't have to ask for it. They know they can just go in the Did You Know, print it out, and send it to someone who is going to join. In addition to making sure that you're communicating consistently and effectively, it's important to be accessible and to have clear boundaries. This is the thing that I try to teach most people, is that it's so important to have boundaries. Your job is not your life. And it's very important that you find ways to be able to take care of yourself as well, especially if you're in the classroom or you're a support professional. It's really important to make sure that you're able to do your job in a way that doesn't wear you down and break you. And during COVID, it's been quite the struggle to see people really consistently having difficulty balancing their lives, balancing work. And it's so important that we're taking care of ourselves so that we can be there for our own families, for our pets, for whatever we feel like we need to do to make us be able to function best for our students. So I've set some pretty clear boundaries. After 6 p.m. on weeknights, I do not answer association calls, emails, or texts unless it's an emergency. And kind of, I use the same rules that I used in the classroom about what defines an emergency. You're going to have to figure out your own boundaries, but they're so important to make sure that you've clearly communicated those with people. People will respect them. And if they don't, then they've made it clear to you where they are. And then you just have to respect your own boundaries and only return the calls within, for example, 24 hours on the next working day, which is my rule. So anyway, and if I'm ever out, I try to make sure there's an away message so that they know where I am and when they can expect the quickest response. In addition, during COVID, we have in Penn implemented bi-weekly check-in calls that are just open meetings for our members so that they can address concerns, ask questions, or just vent if they need to, because connection is really important at this time. We do those via Zoom or sometimes via Facebook Live. And then it's a good way for us to be responsive and to keep a pulse on our membership, to know where they are, how they're feeling, because things change and you can't assume that your teachers feel a certain way. You have to actually know. And so how you do that is to stay on top of it through clear and consistent communication. Additionally, you have external communication, which is a big animal of itself. And it's making sure that we are communicating with our public education allies, those who are most supportive of us, our parents, our community members, our businesses, our lawmakers at every single level. And we're doing that through op-eds and letters to the editor. We're speaking at every single school board meeting and making sure that we maintain that relevancy, that people know that our association from the local level, state level, and national level is here because we care about what we do. And framing every single message, whether it's having a conversation with an administrator about an issue that's happening in your school, or something as big as wearing masks and COVID, making sure that you're framing every single message with your personal story and making sure that you're framing it around your why, which is students. We all got into this profession because we wanted to make a difference for students. And typically the best two ways you can make an argument for anything related to students are if you talk about the issues of safety and equity. How do we make it fair for all? And how do we make sure that it's safe for all? So using op-eds, letters to the editor, getting on board agendas, having forums and town halls. If they're virtual, there are ways to do that. We've used the League of Women Voters forum, and that has been very helpful for us in our school board forums that we've had, in our town halls, any of those kinds of things. We've written open letters to the public and had those published as well. And then sometimes we use media as needed whenever we really need to hit a point home. And some of you guys may have seen Penn in the media. So anyway, bottom line is you cannot over communicate. It's better to have more information than no information. So I just like to encourage you to find new ways to communicate with your members, to keep people connected, because that's what's missing the most right now for teachers. They're feeling disconnected. For our support staff, they're feeling disconnected. They don't always know what's going on. And so the best way to do that is to make sure that you are being clear and concise and consistent with communication at the local level, and then that you're passing things along from OEA and NEA as well. I hope that you find this video helpful, and stay tuned for our next edition coming up soon. Talk to you later. Have a great day. Bye, everybody.